Hello, everyone. We are back in the building today with another topic. Got a couple guests already chimed in. King's Table 901. Look at that. Look at Miss Polly already. We got Lady E in the house. How you doing?
I'm
Welcome.
fine. And yourself? Hey, Miss Polly.
I'm doing fine. Welcome to the King's Table 901, Lady E.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Of course, Miss Polly, how you doing this evening? Yeah, she's having
well, thank you.
Well, she's doing well. She's doing well. I must say that we do have an interesting one today. Interesting topic today. Gonna be interesting to delve into. Of course, we all know the talk about passport bros and international travel and all that stuff has been a hot topic all across the country, actually, and it's been surreal. Let me add. There we go. Miss Nebraska. Let's add her. Let's see. I was trying to add Miss Nebraska in there. Is she in there? Let's see. Hang on just a second. I'm trying to get her. I don't know if she's got her camera on or what's going on, but I can't see her in here. Layout. Let's see. I was trying to let Miss Nebraska come on into the building, but looks like she's let's see. Greetings, kings and pretty queens. Anyway, it's been a hot topic. Yeah, I see you, Miss Nebraska. I'm trying to get you in, but it's been a pretty hot topic here about this passport bro deal, and some sparks been flying and stuff like that. But we're gonna talk today about women actually traveling, which is I'm not gonna say it's new to me, but I know women have been traveling, but to what extent, that's another deal. And hopefully we'll be able to get some opinions and see what's going on and stuff like that with that. Because the passport bros has been getting, talked about. And I think the idea that women are actually traveling, I don't know if that's ever talked about. It's been talked about some, but we'll talk about it here tonight and see what's happening. What about you, Lady? What have you heard in that regard as far as women traveling? International, that is.
All of this passport bro, passport sis stuff, that's a phrase that's fairly new to me probably within the past couple of months. So when I had to actually look up or research what it actually meant, I was like, oh, okay. I've always had a passport. I've always been traveling, so it was nothing new for me. I just didn't, realize that there was so much, lashing towards, passport bros or quote unquote passport sisters. It was just, kind of broadsided. You kind of discover a lot of things when you're on YouTube and social media.
Okay, yeah. Well, I tell you what's going to be interesting. What you looked up, what did it say? Because I have no idea. I've never actually looked it up to see what it is.
So when you have when I looked up passport bros, it was sometimes, would be described as men that are tired of Western culture women, and they would go out east or go down to South America or wherever to find love in other places because love doesn't exist where they reside. Um, Moreover, when I looked up, like, the passport sisters, it was more like, just women going on girls' trips.
Okay. Yeah. Um, Interesting because when I think of passport bros, I don't think about women being the main thing amongst, but I do realize that there are different kinds of gentlemen or men who have passports from the age of, like, say 21 all the way up to probably 60. So the agenda, I think the agenda of a passport bro depends on age, and depends on what, for the most part, for me anyways, because most of the guys I know that have passports that are traveling and doing things, they're actually looking at land. They're buying property and Airbnb them out. Um, all sorts of things other than women. So it was interesting. I was wondering about that because generally when you speak about passport bros, that's the thing that comes up though mainly. I mean, let's be real with it. That's the main thing that comes up. Hey, you're tired of the matrix or whatever, and you're tired of dating women here, and you're gonna go somewhere else to find whatever it is, love or whatever it is that you're looking for, or they're looking for, internationally. But it's just I don't know. Passport Bros is not a specific group though. It's not a specific group of men or something like that. It's just like a tag or something. Now everybody who has a passport and traveling outside the country are calling themselves Passport Bros for some reason. I've been traveling since I was 16. So Canada, Germany. This was before this hashtag or label came along, and I traveled for different reasons: music, sports, um, things like that. So this then before Passport Bros ever came along, I traveled to Dominican Republic and stuff like that. So, it's fairly new for me. I guess the last year or so, I've been hearing about this more and more and more. You know, but
I think, if you mind me, something that I thought about. I think we hear it a lot, and I think we hear it in the Black community a lot because, not that long ago, you know, the average Black person couldn't afford to travel, like, out the country. They couldn't obtain a passport, for whatever reason, whether they just couldn't afford it, or if they could afford it, they couldn't afford the flight to get out the country or go across the border. And
right.
so now that, there's so many alternatives, flying is a whole lot cheaper
Mhm.
than it was before. Um, People are able to broaden their mind and experience different things and actually see something in front of them versus what they see on TV.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And then speaking for myself, as
Miss
time.
Nebraska came back.
Oh shit. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, it says that on Twitch is in stream with audio only. Yeah, yeah. Yes, try that. I said, yeah, yeah. It says she's in Twitch for some reason, and it won't allow me to bring her in for some reason on this. She needs to click the StreamYard link so I can bring her in, somehow. But anyway, yeah. For me, like, it took a while for me to even recognize the possibility, if you will. It's not so much that I didn't have the money, but I had to be introduced to it some kind of way, if you will, because my mindset was always United States, United States, United States. But the traveling that I did do when I went to Germany and stayed for about 10 days, but it was for business reasons, music, and of course I saw things, but it wasn't the same mindset as it is now to actually travel. So have you ever been out of the country, Lady E, at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I come from a family of immigrants, so I'm in and out the country a lot.
what if I will, what countries have you been to?
Um, St. Lucia, Dominica, Costa Rica, Mexico, Canada, um, Honduras.
Mhm.
and I think that's about it.
Okay. You speak any alternative other languages besides English, or?
I have my family has a native language, but I'm not fluent in it. It's Creole. It's kind of very similar to the Haitians, but it's a little bit different.
Ah, Creole, huh? You don't know none of them roots, do you?
Huh?
You don't know any of them roots, do you? You know, they say Creole in New Orleans.
Well, and see, that Creole is actually different from what's in the Caribbean, and of course, it's because you have a bunch of different mixed cultures.
Right, right, yeah.
And so basically, the Creole is just the dialect of a French language. That's all.
Yeah. I'm just pulling your leg anyway. Miss Polly, you over there with your mic muted. You have
I
you?
know I have to do
No,
that.
I've actually asked you this question also before, but have you been out of the country before? I know your answer, but I want you to actually, elaborate on it and see. I hope Miss Nebraska gets back in.
I actually have not. I do. I know. I hope that works out because that'd be very important. But no, I have not actually.
Yeah,
I'll
but
tell
you have
you,
there you go.
most of my interaction. Yeah, most of my interaction for international, conversation wise, I've actually been put in put in situations where I've been in cultures that aren't American since forever. Obviously, I was born in Nebraska. We didn't have when I was younger a lot of foreigners here, but now I will tell you there's a lot more Spanish people here, and there's a big Asian population, actually a very large Asian population, and a large Sudanese population here. So like we actually have we have a lot of things you wouldn't normally see. We
Mhm.
have a Japanese Buddhist Buddhist church. There's like a lot of you just like if you look around, you're like, why? We have a Hindu like a Hindu garden, like where there's like a it's like a temple, like you see all the statues and everything, and it's actually for Hindus to go. So there's a lot of stuff here in Nebraska, but that's since I've come back here. But when I was in Florida, when I lived there at 11,
Mm.
basically I was thrown into a lot of Caribbean culture already. And what I mean by that, you would think, okay, you just talk to people who are from the Caribbean. I spend a lot of time in homes of people who literally are probably first generation. So I've stayed with, I learned to hang clothes. They taught me a lot of things about being a person. It just was different. It was new.
Right.
And then I also, with all in a lot of Asian culture, I've met of, like I said, like first generation Asian people, and I actually mingled with them a lot. And I think it was just because my mom, the whole mom, like, the latchkey kids kind of. So I would friends' houses, and I would like be home with them through their dinner process and things like that. And they would teach me things that weren't American, because that's when you go to the house, they're not living like Americans, they're living as if they're, in their own country. And so having that first generation experience as a young person, that's why I kind of connect with people a little bit different. It's like I'm not really connecting with America. I don't mean that because I wasn't really experiencing the American life like everybody else. So that definitely was a difference. Um, and now I feel like I really connect to Asian culture very, very strongly. If I had to pick one, I will say, and that's why my major is international studies. My area of studies is East Asia, and is actually Japan. So I do know a little bit of Japanese, um, and I would love to learn Korean at this point. So yeah, I mean that's where I got most of. But I would love to go visit. I had plans to go visit Japan, but I just haven't done it yet.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess I don't know about Japan, but I got a few on my bucket list that's not
I know.
actually being talked about much. By Pat, like I want to go to Australia. There are a couple places that I want to go that's a little different, but like Switzerland is one, Australia is one, besides the big five that I have. So, but yeah, and I was trying to wait till Miss Nebraska
Germany
got
is the
back in.
one,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I've been to,
Germany is the big one that a lot of people want to visit.
yeah, I've been to Germany. I flew into Frankfurt, and I had some friends in town called Oldenburg, Germany, and I stayed there for probably about I don't know, 10 days or so. I'm having audio issues. Lady E coming back. Okay, all right, Lady E. But yeah, I stayed in Germany for about 10 days or so, and drove from Germany to Holland. And back then, I mean, this was back 2003, 2004 ish, and that was one of the first times I went to a country that English was not the predominant language, and it was not the main language. So that opened my eyes to some things, like, hey, look, America is not the end all be all. There are other countries, people live different, they eat different, they go to church, whatever it is, they do things different in other countries sometimes, and it's not necessarily the truth what you see on TV. So, and Miss Lady E
I
says she's
mean, that's
my
very,
little,
very true. That's very true. The depiction of Americans, I don't think people even notice that. Like, what we look very arrogant. We have very negative. We look very negative to other countries. They may think we're cool, but a lot of stuff we do here is very, very taboo everywhere else. Just in general, we actually, we think of it as arrogant, disrespectful. That's how we're seen. And so it's really important to, like, when we go to other countries, to represent ourselves in a positive light, because they're already in their mind think of you a particular way. And just because of some of the things you do, you may not realize you could be very disrespectful. So you gotta really do that research prior to going somewhere else. And even for me, I know people are like, oh, well, why you said that you haven't gone? I'm telling you, I was corrected, and I was here. I was corrected on just things I did, just regular things, and I'm like, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. In Asian culture and Caribbean culture, there's some things you can't do, and you have to be mindful and of those things. So I definitely will say it's an eye opener. You need to educate yourself on where you're going if you're going to go. Very, very important.
yeah. And when I was in the DR, I was talking. I think I told this story before. I was talking to this guy there, and one of the conversations that came up was just that. The arrogant American. You come to their country because we got our currency exchange. Sometimes like in DR it was like 1 to 45 at the time or something like that, and it's like the natives of the town can't enjoy their own island or city like we can because our money just stretches further, and they had some resentment about that, and coming there, and then you got to be careful also because some of them do have issues with men coming over there, actually dating the women there, if you will. So there can be some, you got to watch out for yourself type things over there also. And I think, some guys are finding that out, that you just can't be going places willy-nilly doing what you want because you believe that, it's whatever. You got to kind of back up and, go to reality there. And Lady Isha says she's having some audio issues too. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting on a couple of these questions.
Yeah.
I was waiting on a couple questions until she comes back. Or
Oh.
Miss Nebraska, are you still there on audio, Miss Nebraska?
Yeah, I didn't know if that meant because she didn't have her cam on. Is that what it is? Let me see. Because if I do, let me see if I stop my cam. Yeah, if you have to turn your cam on.
Yeah.
So I think with yours, whatever it is, if you don't cam up, you can't see. Like you can't even see the square. So that may be it.
She needs to cam up. Yeah.
I can. Yeah, I might have to reach out and let her. But let me just go in here just to let her know. And that might be E too. If she's saying she might be hearing something, I'm not sure. But I do know that.
Yeah. Yeah, she said she was hearing a little faint. Yeah. But yeah, while you're doing it, I'll just keep continuing this conversation. But
Yeah.
you know, living like them. One of the questions also came up with like living like them, and you know, instead of pampering yourself, I guess if you know, for better lack of better terms, you know, eat what they eat, live where they live, like the natives. They had more respect for me because one time when I went, I stayed in a resort. The other time I went, I did not stay in a resort. I had an apartment and I was living more like someone that lived on the island, you know.
Right.
And that was it was more an entirely different experience. And you got some of the passport bros that actually do that. I mean, they are having some real live experiences, you know, on ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just with women. I mean, I've seen brothers, you know, exploring temples, all kind of stuff. You know, religious temples, going up, you know, in the backwoods, meeting people. I mean, it's a lot to this. The digital nomad and the passport bro thing. You know, it's a lot to it. And I know one of the questions that we talked about. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with the thing, but go ahead and answer questions. I think, you know, if they jump up, we can.
Yeah, I'll bring it back in. Yeah. So I guess the first question is there a double standard when it comes to traveling for men and women internationally?
Okay. So, yes, I do think there may be. I think because a lot of the perception of women is supposed to be that we're very innocent, very supposed to be docile. We're not supposed to be doing like all crazy kind of stuff, right? And I think what happens is men are seen as, you know, more aggressive, things like that. It may be a situation where, you know, it's seen in more negative light when men go across seas. And that's all men. I'm not separating any black men from white men. Just in general, we know people have been going overseas, and doing all kinds of things. We know white men have gone overseas and gotten, you know, mail order bride terms. But I think what's happening now, and be real honest with you, the fact that a lot more black males, now I'm not saying they weren't before, okay, don't get me wrong, but a lot more black males are coming into a new financial bloom, I will say. I believe a new financial bloom. I think that's when our money changes, we're able to do more. And not only just spend it on, let's just say rappers and stuff like that. They're no longer just spending their money on shoes, cars, and stuff. Now they're saying, maybe I can go to Italy. Maybe I can go here. And now it's traveling has become a bigger thing culturally for us. I don't think it necessarily means that we're not making money, but money now that black males are actually making, they're using that to make decisions to actually travel outside of the hood, outside their realm of just getting money. And they're going out. I'm saying they never did it before, but I'm saying a lot more men are starting to think, okay, I can go somewhere else, point blank.
Right.
In the same breath I'm saying this, we know that the only reason men are going there is not just to get a better economical situation. It is to sometimes have a good time. But that's everyone. Everyone
Right.
travels to have a good time. So I think there's a
Right.
mixture of having a good time and we're showing that we're having a good time a little bit too much. You don't have to display it. You don't have to put down anyone for doing it. But I think that's what the issue is. I do think double standard where women can go on women vacation, things like that, and no one's like, "Oh, you went out here, you were slutting," you know. But I'm just saying, I do think they have it a little bit harder. I do think they
Yeah.
have it a little bit harder. Men have it a little harder when they go out. It's they got to really prove why they're going out there. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna chime in on a couple things you said. First, the money thing. I've heard several times that it's almost like men are coming into this newfound money. No, men have always made more money than women in this country as a whole. You have a group of women, that's actually it's a statistic. So you have a group of women, mainly medical, in certain areas that make more money. But as a whole, you have to count everybody, the Section 8s, the everybody, you have to count all of that. That brings the number down. And I think it's more men making a certain median income, especially black men, than women right now. So let's say that. So I don't think it was that men wasn't making the money. I think it was the mental mindset. Men generally wanted to be with black women for the most part here up until this is something new that I'm hearing, over the last 2-3 years, just developing, that where men are just saying it's like a trend. Hey, look, we're tired and blah, blah, blah. That's the other thing. And then my guy, Raphael Roberson, what's up, my man? He says we all have seen the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back. So that was actually celebrated. Right. When it was Angela Bassett, oh girl, she went over there and got her groove on, child. It was actually celebrated. It wasn't. What if how John got his groove back came out?
Well, I think there's a difference too. Well, if you want to, we should dissect that movie because I think there's a difference because everyone's saying, "Oh, Stella got her groove back. She's a man out of country." The thing is, as a lot of red pill men like to say, is that there's a peak for a woman, and let's just go with that. That idea, right? If there's a peak for a woman, for most in whatever age she was at, she had her peak and no longer was desirable by the men in her country, based on the fact that she had already reached that peak, right? So she's saying if she went somewhere else, there was a possibility it wasn't at that peak, and she was hired by men who may have been in a different area or age range, physique, look, or whatever that she wasn't able to get in America. So technically speaking, she just basically saying she got her groove back because it was taken from her. She was quote unquote peaked. She peaked. That's what red pill people say, is that women get to a peak. They say you're over 30 at a peak. No one wants you, blah, blah, blah. And if we're going to go by that idea, that logic, then she peaked. And if she went somewhere else, she would not have been peaked. Correct?
A little bit. I think, it's a little that Dexter St. Jock going on too. You remember Eddie Murphy? When the young lady goes down to Jamaica and she walks up to Dexter St. Jock and he's swinging that thing. He's like, how you doing, beautiful lady? Who's made you upset, young lady? So I think it was a little of that going on too. In the movie.
I mean, we know you want to sell the vacation of beautiful people on the beach, and everybody wants to be there with the beautiful people on the beach. That's what we can't take away from that. I want people to stop taking away from the fact that when you go on vacation to these places, it is meant to be attractive. It's not supposed to look like a whole bunch of people on the beach who are unattractive. You're supposed to want to go there, desire to be around beautiful people and beautiful things and beautiful sceneries. So let's not take away from that. If you don't know, we all know that the quote unquote places popular, they know that you're coming there. The resorts know that, and they actually have people who are particularly all that come up there on purpose. They go to these places to make money. So there's a lot of that, and it's men and women who want to make money off of foreigners who are attractive will go to these places hoping to find American that they can get a little bit of something off while they're having fun and take us out to drinks and all that. Let's just be honest. So it's not the idea that men and women is a thing. When you're doing this, don't put down someone else. Why? Oh, well, reason why we're going off to have a good time or hang out with these ladies because you guys suck. No, we don't. That sounds ridiculous. You're going there because you saw something that you wanted and you went. If you say that, I'll get to you every day. But that's not what people are saying. I'm leaving because a certain particular person or kind of people is terrible to me that I have to go here. That was a lot of, we hear that a lot. Not saying every man who's a passport bro says that, but there is a lot of confusion when the one with the most content are saying that. That's true.
You mean like videos with that are showcasing women for the most part on their channel? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. If you, I'll be honest. If you go to a lot of channels and you see some men say, "Oh, look, come here," and they show house, they just did a VRBO or whatever. They show the house, and there's 6 guys in there, and then they show 12 women walking through who are. It's allowed in a lot of these places. So what are you promoting? You're promoting the lifestyle to go somewhere to have these women that you maybe not be able to attain in America because their standard is a little higher. They're not trying to marry those women who walked in there. That's not what they're there for. They're not there for you to find. They're there for you to have a good time and you go home. If you're promoting that, that's different. But if you go somewhere, you meet someone, hey, high five in a sushi bar or whatever, that's cool. That's not what's happening. The ones who are displaying that activity where they're actually showing them buying and doing that prostitution, that is what the issue is. And then those same men are saying other women are in America are not valuable, but you're not trying to wife those women. Does that mean in those particular videos? I'm not saying it, but those particular videos, those men are not trying to find wives. They're trying to find prostitutes who that they couldn't get here because those kind of women would not be prostitutes here. Those women would not be prostitutes here. And if you come here looking like that, you will be a wife, not a prostitute. They would leave tomorrow where they're at because no one treated like that for their body. That's just being honest. But where they're at, they know their looks can get them their rent paid for 3 months. Okay, that could make sense to someone. I'm not saying all of them they can be very intelligent. It has nothing to do with it. It just has to do with these men are exploiting particular women and they put it everywhere. And then they're in the same breath saying, we want wives. You guys don't give us wives, but you go find prostitutes. How make it make sense? Those women are prostitutes. I'm not talking about the ones who are sitting on school. I'm talking about the ones they're showing prostitutes.
Okay, so I'll ask you a question, then I'll ask Lady E the same question that I asked you. But let me ask you this question before we come off. So,
sure.
So let's say a female here, I'm taking her out. I'm spending, whatever on dinner, whatever it is. I help her with a light bill every now and then. I'm doing whatever, it is to do what I got to do with this woman. Okay. Men who go over there internationally and do the same thing. They're taking the women out. They're going out to dinner. They're doing whatever. They're drinking good and all this stuff. Things that women aren't used to being able to do there. Is that the same? Why would you consider them to be prostitutes and the women here that are sort of doing the same thing not to be? Like if you're not, in other words, if I'm
I don't think they're prostitutes.
Like if I'm not making an actual cash exchange for that, like, hey, I'm gonna get some money in exchange for that. If I don't think some men are probably doing that. They're going to get pros. I don't recommend that. That's crazy. To go to another country to get a pro. To get a pro and to get a prostitute. That's right. That's kind of I don't know about that one. But I understand where you're coming from. But I just want to.
I know you see that sounds crazy. It's not, but yeah. So I will say this. Okay, so I believe in this, and this is just me. This is me. I am as me. I feel this way, and which is an issue with me. I have any man who feels like he's seeing me That's an issue no matter what country I'm in, and I don't like it even here. I don't want to feel like you are buying me. I don't like, some women are okay. I want to see financially stable. He can take care of me. For me, I feel like that shows me you're purchasing me, and I am not to be purchased. I want to be with you because I want to be with you. So that is an issue for me for anywhere you go. Yeah, whining and dining, you're taking her on dates and you might help with her bill because you want to help her. That's fine here. We know what that's here. Even when you go down there, if you find a woman, you meet her, you met her at a bar, had a good time, and you start talking, and 3 months later, you're helping her with her water or her mom's house. Ain't nobody got issue with that. It's not what we're. If you look at the stuff we're seeing, we're not talking about the men who actually went down there and stayed there. I'm talking about the ones who are here, going down there every 3 months, and they're in an Airbnb, and they show new women every time they go down and running them through the houses with 5 other men. That's different than you going down and seeing the same one and enjoying her person over and over. That's not what they're doing. And we're not going to BS and play like we don't see that. You went down there for the last year and you didn't been with 7 women and you ain't wifed or try to be in a committed relationship with none of them. That's not the equivalent to here. That you're right. When you do that here, it's the same thing. You basically pay for some good times and then you sent her on her way. It happens in both places. But let's call it what it is. You didn't work there for a wife. And like I just said, I think the one that's hitting everybody is aesthetically. Like you said, and this is red pill logic. Y'all say particular women these should only talk to men at a certain status, right? Right, whatever. Women who look like Instagram models, right? You're not going to see those women with men or whatever. But if you down there, it's different. They're able to interact with those women. Here, Instagram models, you're going to pay out of pocket regardless. You go down there, and you don't have to pay as much. Yeah. It's like saying, do I get a good piece of pie? Do I want to pay $13 or do I want to pay $2? I'm going to go pay $2. That just makes sense.
I think it's a case of supply and demand. I hate to say it like that. I don't want to be mean about it, you know what I mean? But the average, oh God, how can I say this and be politically correct? So the average American woman, the average now, this is what I've been told by others. This is what I was told. The average American woman that's an 8 here, that's an 8 or a 9 here, maybe like a 5 there. But she's an 8 or a 9 here, and the company she doesn't have the same concentration of 8 and 9s here that she would go to if she went to another country. So typically what happens is if you're an 8 or 9 here and you go down to another country. But doesn't
that go for men too?
Sure it does.
But that goes for men too. Let's just be honest. America is the most fattest, unhealthy country there is in the world. You're asking the most fattest, unhealthy country about just women? No, all of us are overweight. We eat bad. We don't take care of our health. Our businesses and companies don't care about our health. You can go to other countries and get you get health care for free. You don't get that here. So you're talking the worst of the worst health in all the world. You're going to pick just women? No, men are overweight too. Men are unhealthy. They have lifespan is way shorter here than anywhere else. We don't give an F about our health like we're supposed to, and we're not taking care of ourselves. That's all Americans. Care who you are, and if you came here, you're doing in your face. The portions are too high, so don't just point women out when we're all nasty, fat, and overweight. And the ones who are working hard at it, 5, keep going, motivate the rest. Pause, you know what I'm saying? Be cool. I love being motivated, but don't be a man saying that here are 5, because that means all men here, to men down there who do what they're supposed to do, they look better than y'all too. That doesn't mean that I just said that y'all are good. I'm not gonna. We're all unhealthy.
Right, exactly. And I'm gonna ask Lady E this question. I same ask you, Lady E. Is there a double standard when it comes to traveling for men and women? Is there a double standard? Same question.
that's a really good question. I think I do
I
think
made you
that
grab your phone there, huh?
wait, I think yes, there is the same. I do feel that the same men that are going out to other countries looking for the 304s and complaining about the women here, they're chasing the women here that are quote unquote 304s too and trying to wife them. But then when a
Mm.
woman steps out to travel, she's still referred to as a 304, no matter what she's traveling for. Um, versus for the guys, I some based off of what I see, if the guy goes out and do it, he's doing his thing. He's being a man. He's shelling out his $40 is gonna go way further overseas than it's gonna go here. You can't give a woman here $40 and have a good time. Like you can't even get a tank of gas for $40.
So you're right. So you're right. That's funny. Shit. So,
And so I think at the end of the day, instead of being mad at the women because your $40 doesn't go far here, maybe you have to look at yourself and say, like, what am I doing that, how can I produce more money? I think as a lot of people, unfortunately, were looking for the easy way out, or in this case, an easy way in the door.
mm, well, yeah. Yeah, you could say that. I guess you could say that. It's if you because that $40 you might get a cheeseburger or something with a fry and have them here, you know what I mean? But there you can quadruple that, and then a drink is $1 or something in some places, and
Mhm.
I've been places where you get sea bass, rice, beans, and the El Presidente like a Corona or something. It's all $5. So I mean,
Mhm.
there is an appeal to actually traveling, to make your money stretch. That's just the way it is. But I, me personally, as far as black women here, I don't go out to the 304 girls and all that stuff anyways. But, I've had the thought, well, baby, damn, let's get together. Me and you can go down there together, because at the end of the day, even if I had a black woman, African American sister here, I still would be saying the same thing personally. Hey, look, I wouldn't be looking to retire here, because America's just the greed. Everything is overpriced. I mean, let's just get real with it.
It's
I mean,
too fast
the
paced.
average, right? The average American won't be able to retire here. Most people don't have a full 401k or a 403b or a Roth IRA or any of that stuff. You don't have a retirement plan. So what are you going to do? What are we going to do if I'm unable as a black man to get a black woman to understand what I'm talking about right now? And I'm saying, look, baby, I understand that you like this, you like that. We all like this and like nice things. But what about 15 years from now when it's time to retire? Sit down. What are we going to do? Is
And
that
I
a
get it because I've actually looked at property in other countries because I'm sitting there saying, I don't want to be here, when I retire. And it's very similar with my dad. My dad's been retired. My dad's 76 years old. Um, he does 6 months here in the US and he does 6 months back in his country.
see? And I think it's going to be a lot more of that going on.
And it's
I,
not a situation where he can't afford it. It's just he's happier. He's back at home and he's able to see his family, and just life is more simple. You can get up, go in the yard, pick mangoes off the tree or whatever, and it's simple. He can go fishing if he wants to. He can go down to the beach. It's life, it's the food is better, the food is cleaner, so it's actually better for his health. Um,
yeah,
Nothing, he says nothing better is waking up in the morning and him and his brothers are chilling on the porch drinking beer.
right. Exactly. So that's my next question. So how much are we downplaying that fact that I'll say passport bros are actually going to enjoy that just as much as they're going to enjoy women? Like, for instance, like when I was in DR, I was there for 10 days. I promise you, when I got back on that plane and I got back into Miami, I may as well have been walking into a hurricane, because as soon as I got off the plane, I felt it. And anybody that goes out of the country and comes back, if you've been out of the country and come back, you know what I mean. When you hit the port in Miami, the hustle, the bustle, the anxiety, you're on 10 immediately. I mean,
Reality sets back
yeah,
in.
you feel
Reality
it.
sets back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go on
So
vacation and it's, you don't have a care in the world. I have no responsibilities. I don't have my kids. I ain't got to worry about them. I can eat whatever I want. I can wake up whenever I want. I get it.
right. Yeah. So next question. Like, I guess I'll start with you on this one, Lady E. Do women feel that there's an issue dating outside of Americas or the Americas? Because you have North America, let's say South America, and abroad. Is there an issue?
I do know that there are some women that do have an issue. In my opinion, it's a very, very small, tiny, minute percentage, like less than 1%. Like I said, all of these, women being mad at the passport bros and vice versa, this is all new to me. So, as for me, if a man goes out and he meets someone in another country and he dates them and they fall in love, that's fine with me. The only thing that I don't necessarily agree with, I don't like it when, whether if it's men or women, where they completely put down the people in their own culture and they say something's wrong with, all of the people here. So this is why I'm going over here to look for love. And in my opinion, if you can't get along or get with your own culture, maybe you might have to look within yourself to see what's actually wrong with you. It may not be the people, it just might be you.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So to the women, I'm gonna reverse the question a little bit on you so you can answer this. So to women who can't keep a man, they are dime now, but they can't keep a man. They done went through 6 or 7, and they can't keep a man. Is it something wrong with them? Would you say
No, there's something wrong with her.
Yeah. So it's vice versa then. So it the same scenario can be said for both.
Yeah, if you keep getting yourself in the same scenario, you really have to actually sit back and ask yourself and look at yourself. Why do I keep getting back into this situation? Where am I moving wrong? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I know, right? Or is it like Marna? I didn't know that she was gonna be crazy, deranged. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you now, there's some good actors out here. Miss Polly, what you say about it?
But I mean, yeah, I was going to just add to that part because I think it's more, because I know Miss Me Nebraska, we're talking about that a couple days ago, but I was want to share a little voice for her. She was saying also, like, if you have some deep rooted issue, you gotta at some point say, is it me not liking something particular? You gotta really look and find something else is going on. And from a poly point of view, if you've never been poly, I will tell you that's the fastest way to figure out is something's you. If you have 2 people who you're with, and they keep saying the same thing that you're doing that's irritating or whatever or issue, it's probably you. If more than one person says that about you, it is probably you. And that's why I think sometimes, I'm trying to give them subject, but like if you're poly, because there is more than one person telling you, and they do not hate you and don't want to see them. So if 2 people who care about you keep telling you you're doing something, you're doing it. There's no way around it. You need to look and try to fix that.
I think some people set expectation or standards for their partner to reach where they can't even get there halfway themselves.
Yeah. I could see that. Boy, it's tough. Let's see. No women are players, and she's eating out with 7 guys. She's doing the dying dad. I mean, she would find something wrong with that guy. Then on tomorrow to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. you know.
Okay, see, and this is the issue with that. Tell you what's the issue with that, Robertson. This is the issue I have with that. Y'all say that, oh, we have these women just want to take us out, and there are some women who take advantage of that. Why do you keep finding women who are repeatedly going out on dates with you, just requesting food or just requesting you to purchase something for them on dates over? Once again, look at yourself. Why do you keep picking the same woman who wants to use you? You must be either putting it out there. That's all you're going. Hey, listen. He purchased me. I will be honest with you. He would always say, "Where do you want to eat? What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Okay, goodness. Like I like to be here just to hang out with you too." No, what do you? It was always he had to give me something because he said, "If I don't give you something, how else do you know I like you?" And I was like, okay. Like literally, some men think that the only way a woman will understand that he's interested is if he's buying her things. Always purchasing, and then when it doesn't fall through because that girl just wanted to use you or she don't really like you but she want to get something out of it, she's going to. But that's anybody who's a user. So you keep dating users. Stop dating users. That's you. But there are some women who expect, hey, when you go on a date, it might be nice to you buy me something. But if this woman's if she's telling you to buy her steak dinners and all this stuff every time you go out, or telling you if you're not buying her shoes, then you already know you dating women who want to use you, and that only think that you're qualified as a boyfriend is if you're spending money. So why do you keep dating? Because men are supposed to approach women, correct? In the red pill life, most people, these people, if you keep doing that, that's something about you. You keep displaying that's all you can offer. Or something else.
Yeah, well, they it's a lot of women around here. I'll just say around here, if you go on a date with them, that's the first. You say, hey, well, what would you want to go? What would you like to go? 9 times out of 10, she's gonna pick an expensive restaurant or something like that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Most of them around here are. If you say, hey, well, look, let's go take a walk in the park, eat an ice cream cone, let's get to know each other, and you go that route, oh, you're cheap. You're
then she ain't for you, and it's time to move on. No. She's not for you. So you actually vetted her. You vetted her the way that you should have, and so it's time to leave. Don't waste your time. No love lost. On to the next.
Get her out of there.
No. Raphael says, next. Yeah, y'all
think we're lying, but that doesn't make sense. Stop going after them. First off, why y'all? Okay, it's not all men, but if you see a woman who's Instagram and showing all stuff she got, likely that's what she's gonna expect from you. If you see a woman out here and she's strutting, she got her hair all done, she got her nails done, look, all that crap, and you see her at a nice place and all this, most likely, not always, but most likely, she wants to maintain that kind of lifestyle. If you don't want to provide that, or that's not something you want in a woman, don't talk to those women. Why don't y'all talk to the one who's sitting on the side, just chilling and drinking some water, and enjoying just a good conversation? Talk to her. That's your woman. Not
the first thing to come out the man's mouth is say, "Oh, I don't care about the nails and the hair and all of that stuff," but that's how you vet her. So you're gonna have to expect that you may have to keep up with that, or she may want to keep up with that look.
Right. Well, I understand. Do y'all hear?
And once you did for
y'all, I'm gonna talk to y'all for a minute. Y'all need to stop doing that. That Miss Polly and Lady E said y'all need to stop doing that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Please. Because what you do when you do that too, we're gonna put this out. What you do is you make the ones who are. You ever heard that song? You gonna make me act like a hoe by her and Jasmine Sullivan. Like these make the hoes feel like they're winning. So you make women who are just sitting there chilling think that, oh my gosh, all the men who I might be interested, I'm missing out. All they want is that. Because I sit chilling, drinking my water, chilling, they talk to me. But that stilettos have dressed with their hair done and their nails done, their eyebrows done every week, That woman gets dates. I don't get it. So maybe if I'm doing, that'll give me a man to talk to me. And y'all, I'm not out here looking for the girl who's wearing a t-shirt and is just walking around the grocery store. Not most of the time. Let's just be honest. You look out on the tight pants, booty sticking out, and she in here with, that's what the one looking at. And that's just being honest, because you guys are drawn by vision. You see an attractive woman, and you go to her. So you're telling everyone else that having these other things is not attractive. So then they're going to change their ways.
And that's why women are going out and get the BBLs. They're going and get the BBLs.
That's what they feel. And you guys can say, no, you don't like that. Right? And okay, all the men who say that's not true, Beyonce, who else? Oh, I'll give Beyonce. I don't know about Rihanna, but Beyonce for sure. Beyonce, all the ones who y'all think, Cardi B, all them, those women are all the way fake. I'm going to say Beyonce too, and I'm not being mean to her about saying, but she's not wearing real hair half the time. I'm not saying she don't have hair, because she does. She's wearing lashes. She's half dressed. Let's just be honest. No, this is true. She has gotten her body done at some point. It's very light. I'm not saying it's all, but she might have gotten just fillers, or this is what women in this industry do. I'm not saying all of her body's fake. She might have worked really hard. She does work hard, but Cardi B and them, they say it. They have nails. They have eyelash. They have makeup on. These women you say that are so attractive, they don't look like me and Lady E right now. They don't.
Well,
they got foundation on. They got lip gloss. And you say they're beautiful. So then what does that tell me, that we're not hitting the standard?
Well, me personally,
we're the bottom of the barrel.
I'm not a Beyonce fan, so that one right there doesn't apply to me. Rihanna's okay, but that's not my.
I said Cardi B. I in there, Cardi B.
Negative.
Negative. Y'all ain't saying Gorilla look good.
Negative.
Most of the time.
Negative.
Y'all ain't saying that. Y'all ain't say Corey. Y'all ain't look fine. Y'all saying the ones who are looked up, they fine.
Well, since you asked me, I'm a Felicia Rashad type of guy. No, I'm a Felicia Rashad type of guy. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? I'm a Miss Huxtable kind of guy. Hey, baby, that's what I like. You know what I mean? Now let's get real with it. I don't do all the flash and all that stuff, because it's just, I just don't like it. But I understand what you're saying, though. You know what I mean? You got guys who they love to see that. I mean, they're very lustful. They love to see that. But, I think, some guys are really, really, really trying to do something different. Not all guys are out here trying to do that. Find the Beyonce or the Cardi B, or I think most guys are like, I mean, there are a lot of guys who are just simply tired of that, and they would love to find.
I don't think it's most. I'll give you half.
They would love to have an all-natural, beautiful Africana sister here, if it would be all possible. But they have, strike one, strike two, strike three, you out, and they out. They gone for whatever reason.
I don't know, Sherrod. I don't know. But it's okay. So, Sherrod, let's go back to what we said.
And that's even work being an all-natural woman, too.
You say it again, lady?
Let's be honest.
I said it's also a lot of work being an all-natural woman. Like when I had long hair and I used to have the big afro, like that took time, that's maintenance, and that too costs money.
Right. I understand.
So it's like, if I cut it off or I walk around with a bonnet on my head, you're going to complain about that. And when you are natural, you do. When you're in the house and you go to sleep, you will have to wear something on your head to keep your hair from breaking and getting matted and tangled. Like, you have to pick one. What do you want?
Yeah.
And we're not saying, like I said, we're not saying there are women out here for a particular way.
Are you asking me that question personally?
No, I'm not asking you. I'm just making it as a statement, because I've been in situations where, like, I like your hair, but don't put it in a bonnet. Well, I'm going to have to do it when I go to bed. Like I just can't, get into bed with my hair out to there and wake up in the morning and think everything is going to be all cute and there. It's not. It's going to be crushed on one side and I gotta go fluff it out and mist it and all. It takes time when you have to go wash your hair. It's like you gotta do all the sections and everything and the detangling and the conditioning. And then we have hours upon work just to get, refresh those curls and be bold and be out there. The natural woman, African woman that you are looking for. Like it takes work to be feminine. I will say that it takes work to be feminine.
Right.
And it costs money to be feminine.
Exactly. Where are these guys coming from? Because I've never heard. Well, I guess it's out there because Cat Williams talked about it. If he complained about the stretch marks and all this stuff, he called him a beast, so nigga. You know what I mean? But that's not that my idea of a real man that complains about a woman. It's just real life. Common sense will tell you that she's got to prep herself to go to bed or whatever the case may be. And to wake up. So if you're tripping on something like that, I don't know a man that's even tripping on that's kind of a feminine man to me to be tripping on something.
Oh, there are. I've been on panels where some of them are complaining about that. They like legit are complaining.
Now if you come to bed every night now, now that's different now. You got to come to bed desirable sometimes. If you're trying to do what you're gonna do, I don't want to see your bonnet all the time. We're trying to get busy now. I want to see you now. So
and that's understandable. But when it's all over and done, it has to go on.
I agree. I'm just saying. There's some balance to it.
I mean, but there's some men who don't want that. They want a Caucasian. They don't realize that is a Caucasian thing. And even Caucasian women, they have to get up. You hear these crazy stories where women will say, "Oh, to get my man, I used to wake up 2 hours before he will get my up and ready when I lay back down next to him." The stuff that women do so that their man doesn't see them in the unnatural state that they literally are is ridiculous. And I think a lot of us are trying to say that's too much. If I had to wake up before you wake up to brush my teeth so you don't have to smell my breath, or why are you in my mouth? You like, why do I have to get up and prep myself prior to you seeing me? I know some women who their boyfriend has never seen their natural hair because they're like, I don't want him to ever see me like that. And I know you said there's not a lot of men like that, but there are some men who are like, I think these men are trying to compare a woman that they desire to the woman they have. And they have to realize that unless we're in a competition, what I mean by competition is like, that is your job every day to look a certain way or do that. Most women, their natural state, and this is men too, you do want to take care of yourself, but a lot of people don't. Their regular routine is going to show. And when you get to that regular place, are you still desirable? It's like, what? I can't. I had a whole baby. You complain that you saw some stretch marks, or you complain that I still got a little pudge, or that sounds ridiculous. But there are men like that. There are men like that, and they may say it out loud, but they'll tell you.
But I do have to exit stage. So I thank you for having me. I will promise I will not triple book myself in one night ever again.
Yes, I know.
Well, thank you. Okay. We'll get back later.
All right. Thank you.
So, all right.
Bye, dear.
Bye.
Sherrod, you got me in a talkative mood, but I think I do think that you did. I think the standard for women, their beauty standard is high, and I think that the women who feel like they can't attain certain things, they just said, I'm just happy with where I'm at, and then if I want to do better, more. And I understand that, but in the same foot, I think all Americans, and this is just be honest, we're all pretty unhealthy, and we don't take care of ourselves well. But there are some people who want to exercise, they want to keep health. But on a large realm, you can see use the statistics, we are very unhealthy
Yeah.
people. And so for the people who live
Right.
here and the men who are requesting this, you have to recognize that we don't eat well. We eat a lot of GMOs. Nothing's really natural when it comes to us, even our, our lifestyles. And our lifestyles are very lazy-like compared to other countries.
Right.
So, I mean, it just makes sense that we don't look healthy, but we just need to work on that as a culture and
Right.
just be aware of it.
Yeah. I mean, and then that's another thing also, going to these different, I'm gonna tell you, every time I've ever traveled out of this country, I always lose weight. 10, 15, 20 pounds every time and I'm gonna tell you why, because when I'm out, the food that I'm eating is not as toxic as it is here. And you can tell the difference immediately. I mean, you have more energy, you're less, I mean, you feel less toxic on the inside. After about 2 or 3 days of eating the food there, you feel great. You can relax. Your nervous system is, is feeling better. You don't have all this anxiety on you, and you can enjoy your surroundings. So it's something to be said about these other countries that we're missing here in the States. It's just too much hustle and bustle. As far as, natural women are concerned, like I said, I know men here who would love to have a black woman here. It's just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if the good black women don't meet the good black men. I don't know what's going on, but I promise you, I know a lot of men who just like, man, I wish I could find, the right woman here. And they just can't. So they just give up. And they're conceding.
Yeah, I don't even want to say they give up.
I
don't want to say that, Sharai. I don't think it's a give up situation. I think depending on the young or old, I know there's some older men. I think there's a transition for women, obviously, in this wake of a new era, that these women are different. I'm going to give you that 100%. But in the same breath, we have to recognize that red pill gentlemen who do talk about this topic quite a bit, they're dating those younger women. They're dating women who are literally saying that they stand on a different foundation than the older ones. And the older ones, yes, they may have children. I'm not telling you to lower your standards. There's some women with children, all that, and all that, but they may look different. I'm not saying you have to date one with kids, but if your desire is to only date people who are in their 20s and you're older than that, and you're not looking outside that room, you're dating the generation that's going through a big change when it comes to women. What they desire, what they want, their empowerment movement is taking place. We don't know where that'll land us. And you're dealing with that. And then the older ones may be a little bit more traditional, but they're kind of picking up on some of these too, these little things. So, and it's just a different dating pool. I don't think anyone should give up, but I do think they should look at themselves, evaluate what they really want, need, and give, and then evaluate who they're looking for. Stop being so closed off. Stop making your list so tight. Because I'd be honest, if everyone's list was a lot looser, I think we would find better partners. When it's, you can't be this much overweight, you can't, what are you doing that? And I'm going to be honest with you, every person I found staying weight and being unhealthy, if you get with the right partner and you pushing in a positive way to be, you're not as heavy and all that, they're going to want to change that just to be around you. They don't want to take 10 years off. They're going to take 10 years off their life. They're going to want to exercise. They're going to want to do those things. Look for the right person.
Yeah. Peace. For me, peace is at a premium, right now. So the right person for me is peace. Peace. I mean, you can be fine as I don't know what, but if you bringing me drama, then Lord Jesus, I don't want to be in that situation. For me personally, I'd rather be in a peaceful situation if I'm going to do that, And she don't have to be Halle Berry or Beyonce or something like that. But you do, to me, beauty is different. Beauty is not necessarily that. Beyonce, it can be, Megan Good. It can be Sanaa Lathan. It could be, it could be, a list of black women who are absolutely gorgeous, but they are not over the top, like a Vanessa Williams. I hate to say Vanessa Williams, but she was one of those, light skinned, you know what I mean? So fine, but yeah, and I think men are going across seas and they smile, just the femininity that's another thing that we got to say. The femininity of the women. That when you talk to them, they smile. They're nice. Whether they're doing it for money or whatever they're doing it for, we can say why they're doing it. But the fact of the matter, they got sense enough to do it. Whereas here, I mean, in my city, I meet a lot of women. Yo, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to holler at you. I just simply ask you how you doing, you know. And you can't even, you don't even have the common courage to say, hey, I'm doing okay. How you doing? And walk off, you know. Things like that. It's the small things. You go through a McDonald's drive-through or wherever you're going through here. You ask for some ketchup. Damn, I got to get attitude. I got to get your neck snapping back. I got to get you rolling your eyes. You're making all these faces just because I asked for some ketchup. I mean, let's get real with it. I mean, that's what I'm seeing where I'm at.
I think that's just an American thing. I think that's an American thing.
What the fuck is going on? But
yeah, I mean, I think it's an American thing. I think men do it too. American men too. That's the thing I'm trying to say is that I think it's just being American in general. If you're a person that has been out of the country, it's just an American thing. We move differently, and we are actually seen by other countries as rude. Let's just be honest. And I think the women are on defense. Listen, I lived in the South, and I remember I used to say hi to people, and I'm a big smiler. I say hi to people, and I remember being happy just look at a girl's shirt and be like, oh, she looks so nice. And they would be like, what you looking at? And I'd be like, oh, snap, I'm sorry. So I'd have to speak. I'd be like, oh, your shirt's nice. And I have to say that. Just I wouldn't get this tone in particular. But in the same light, some men also see me smile a lot. And here in America, they always, a lot of times, think that I'm flirty because I'm nice. It's not every man, no. There's a lot of men who think that since I'm very nice, that is also a line to be crossed. It's like, oh, well, you're always so nice to me. I'm like, well, I'm just nice to people. So I think it is a cultural difference. That's why I said I think I got that from just being around other people, but just being nice in general. Sometimes here it seems like, oh, that's so nice. Why would you be so nice to me? No one's normally that nice to me. And it's just American thing that we're not seen as nice people, like inviting folks. Even in the South, they say we're nice, we're not. They're sarcastic and slick with their comments, like, you know, oh, she's so precious, oh, bless her heart. Those aren't positive statements. They're sarcastic.
Bless your heart.
So yeah, it looks, it's not nice. Americans aren't very nice. And if you figure that out and you live here, you're right. You probably belong somewhere else. And I'm glad you've noticed. But in general, that you think it's just Americans. And maybe men don't like that, but
So why do you think people would get upset then if somebody said, you know what? I'm tired of this toxicity in America, in the Matrix. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then when they go somewhere else, oh my God, in the bars, they get treated so nice. I'm speaking experience now. You go to a bar, man, they know what customer service is. Whether they trying to do it for the tip or whatever, they know how to smile. Hey, how you doing? Drink fine. I mean, that's why you gotta get out of the country, Miss Polly. You gotta go somewhere else.
I mean, I do know. As I said, I've gone to places where it's just that the submersion is different. I don't mind that, but in the same light, I know the difference. So I know where I'm at. So if a man approaches me a certain way, I mean, I like it all the time, and I'd be like, you know, it's just because they're American. Like I know that. That's exactly what they do too. They're just American. And then you just kind of try to weed through that and then work on that. It's just, that's what it is. And no one should be mad. I want you, all these people no one should be mad that people are going outside of the country to find love or find peace, find happiness. That's got nothing to do with it. I think what happened was there was a bad turn where a few men messed it up for the rest by making comments that pertain to Black women. And that is where it all went to hell in a handbasket. And that's not to say other men say that, because I don't believe every man thinks that. I just saying some people make comments and they put it publicly and they have a big following, and it hurts for someone to say that about you. If someone's like, "Oh, Black men suck and you're bums," you guys will be like, "Hey, that's not cool. Why you say that?" And that's basically, I feel like, what happened. And then some people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was an issue," but what they said doesn't sound nice, and then they defend themselves. I do think that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean. Like, don't be mean to me. Be nice. That's what I feel like happened. I do feel that. Yeah.
So I got one more question before we go, because I definitely want to know this, because you haven't been out this country really yet. So, what are the top? I'll say the top 5 countries you would like to visit, starting with save your number 1 for last, and then do.
Okay. So I'm going down the list here. Okay, I'm gonna go. All right. I actually would love to see. I would like to see. Ireland might be. I would like to see like Istanbul. I would like to see that. That sounds interesting. I've met some gentlemen from there, and they were very interesting. Their culture seems very just different. It's just very different. They're very kind people. But I would love to see their environment. And then I will say I'd probably like to go to Egypt. That would be I would like to see Egypt. I see like the pyramids, things like that. And then let's go to I would see Ireland. I had an obsession with Ireland for a good minute. So I know a lot about their culture and some of their religious tales and things like that. So I really love Ireland. That was my best thing. Let's see here. Let's see. Right. And then I will say, this is going to be hard. No good. Last 3. Okay. I know my first 2. I'm at the. Let's see. I know it sounds weird. I'm not really interested in South America, but maybe I will go to Brazil. And I think that's just more for the nature features. It's not necessarily the people, because it's actually a very mixed culture there. But I would like to see more of the actual land itself. Just from watching nature shows, things like that. I think that, that's like the Mother Earth of everything to me. When it comes to like the trees, the rivers, the animals, all of that, I would love to see that. And then the people are very interesting too. I think it's an interesting combination of how 2 different cultures have clashed together. That's interesting. I will say that. But I would mostly want to
Brazil. Now Brazil is the home to the 2nd largest population of I should say African descent in the world, right, besides Nigeria. So Nigeria's number 1. Nigeria's number 1, and Brazil is number 2.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Black people. Yes, because there were more Black or African slaves brought to Brazil than any other place in the world, any other country, even the USA. There were more brought to Brazil than the USA.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So Salvador Bahia is about 70% Black. So, I mean, you go up to northern Brazil, you start getting more of a mixed crowd, but the country as a whole, there were more Black slaves brought there than in America. That's why they call Salvador Black Rome, Roma Negra, Black Rome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know they were Spaniards there, obviously, because they speak, or the Portuguese are not Spaniards, just the Portuguese. Obviously. So I don't know their history enough, but like I said, I wouldn't do it for the people, because but I would definitely the land itself that intrigues me. But then I will definitely say Korea and then Japan. Those are the top. Korea and Japan. Korea, they're very interesting people. Very, very nice people, which is so funny is that Koreans and Japanese people don't really get along. So it's very hilarious, but it's not in the same breath. But they don't get along because of history and things like that. But I do want to see Korea, and then I would go to Japan definitely. For me, their culture hits me different than everyone else's. I feel like if I was just a natural state, that's where I'd probably belong. I just be honest. That's where I feel like I would belong. Just for my natural, the way I just move. I mean, there's some things about me that are very extrovert, but there's lots of things about me that aren't. And in their culture, they just hold themselves more accountable, I think, than most countries. And they're very disciplined people. And I like that. I value that a lot. So that's why I think it is important to think about going other places because, like I said, if you like some place of discipline where the culture holds people responsible for their actions, these are other places. They're not here. You know, they will exile people and their families for acting out of line. Here, your cousin can act up and do something crazy and everybody can still do stuff. There you can get exiled from a whole city and no one will talk to you and no one will do business with you. It makes you morally more aware of the things that you're doing. So being reckless is really not an option. And that might seem really strict. I like that. I don't want people to think there's no consequences for things that are morally not right.
Right. Wow.
I'm just
Well, I'll give you my before we go and get out of here. But
yes, please.
Israel, Jerusalem. I want to go to there for my own personal reasons. You know, all the stuff I've ever read about that area. I want to actually see it from my own eyes and see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa, I would like to go to Ghana and Cameroon. I want to go to the door of no return and go on up. I want to end up in Cameroon and Congo because of my DNA that I've researched so far. I'm mostly Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu. So that makes up the majority of my DNA. So I would like to go there. Brazil, I definitely want to go there. Then you have Colombia and Thailand. Those are my next. So, because I've already been to Germany. I've already been to DR.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So
yeah, Thailand. I would definitely look up their rules because their rules are no game. They do not play over there. I'll be honest. Things that we do over here, their rules and punishments for the stuff we do here that's regular are extreme. So I mean, I'm saying you would do those things. I'm just saying, like, you know, their rules are a lot harsher. And we do it over here every day. So I would. I mean, if I was ever go there, that's what I know. They're one of the top ones that I would be like, oh wait, pause before I even step foot in this place. Let me look up some things.
Yeah, I've been doing a little research on it, but I like the reason why I say Thailand and Philippines is the close right there with Thailand. They're right there, and I'm gonna tell you why. See, I like the beauty of islands. You got Phi Island in Thailand, and you have these cruises. Oh man, the mountains and stuff like that. It's beautiful there. You know what I mean? The same thing with the Philippines. You have some beautiful places. Like when I was in DR, I was eating in this. It wasn't really a hut because it was wood. It was a buffet, but it was at sunset and just eating dinner that was just awesome. I was like, Jesus, I should have brought my mom. But you know what I mean? It was off the chain. So I like to visit places with those views and places. I was told that Greece was beautiful like that also, but it's just I don't, yeah. So
why? Yeah. Why do you? What about a European? I noticed you didn't name any of those.
Germany is about as European as I want to go. If I'm going to do something else, it'll be Switzerland, something like that. You know what I mean? I England, Paris. I have no desire to go to those places. No desire to go to those places at all. I mean, I could go if the opportunity presented, but it's not. It's maybe like 8th, 9th, 10th on my list. I would be in Australia before I would be in England or Paris or something. Okay. So
right.
Yeah. But for some reason, Switzerland is so beautiful to me. That place is
just very beautiful.
Oh my God, it's off the chain. So, but yeah.
Yeah, they places that they really care about their agriculture is very important. So I can feel that. I can feel that vibe.
Yeah, so I mean, I have some, some places that are probably off the grid for some African American men, but I had some Swiss. I was Ubering one time, and I had some people from Switzerland in my Uber some time ago, and Yeah, this was when I was getting money for my showcase, my nonprofit, and they were nice people. They were surprisingly nice because I thought they were going to be afraid of me because, you know, I was black, you know, but they were like, hey, man, what's up, man? You know, they was like, I mean, you ought to come to Switzerland. And I was like, really? So they invited me to Switzerland. I was like, okay, that's different. You know, I didn't expect that, you know.
Right.
So, and I think, and I'll say this in my partnership, I think black women need to understand this in this country. And this is something that I really think they need to understand. Black men have been treated horribly in this country. I mean, horribly across the board, not just with women. I ain't saying women, I'm talking about in general, with the police, on the job, at your local supermarket, where the hell ever been treated horrible. So when they leave this soil and they go anywhere, and they're like, they get treated special, it blows their mind. They just cannot believe they're being treated this way. They're so used to being treated bad. It's almost like having PTSD or some shit. You're so used to being treated so bad that when you go somewhere and someone treats you nice, you lose it.
I believe.
Does that make sense to you? You lose it.
Absolutely.
She blows.
That makes sense.
Hola, mi amor. You know what I mean? You lose it. You know what I'm talking about? Ooh, black of mine. Ooh, I love you, black of mine. Ooh, you lose. They lose it. Come on, let's just get real with it. You go over there and you getting foot massages, and she ain't scared to touch them rusty nubs on your toe, boy. You look like you've been kicking down doors for a living, and she still take you and fire you down and get you right, boy. You like, ooh, she ain't complaining not one bit. You know, they lose it. They lose it, Miss Poly. I'm telling you what the truth is. They lose it now. And they said, man, in all my years of niggerdom in America, I've never been treated like this. Man, here you go, baby. Here you go, your little $20. Because that's all it's going to be. So you go over there, you get shaved, bathed, and finger toenails filed and manicured and pedicured, and you spend $15. You looking around like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. I done found paradise. You know, until the ish hit the fan, and then she showed you that, you know. You know, she's just like the other woman in the world. But I'm just saying, but you know, they lose it. I saw a guy in the airport crying coming back from the DR, and I said, man, what's up? What's wrong? He said, man, I gotta go home to that B. He was talking about his woman. I was like, what? He was literally crying getting on an airplane because he didn't.
Oh my gosh, it's so sad. She shouldn't do that.
Back. He did not.
He had to go back to her. He should have packed his shit and left.
He probably did. He was from Jersey. He probably did when he came back. Now that I think about it, I said, man, this dude gonna pack his shit and go. He gonna go there and give him an apartment. He gonna spend every dime he got getting back here as much as possible.
And I think, you know, I don't know. One day I had to show you, Sherrod. So I had this like little thing I saw. I saved it. Oh, there's a man. He's a black man. He was explaining that, you know, money has to do a lot with our home structure, and people don't realize that. And he was kind of showing during certain times of, you know, how, you know, certain things, how our family looked, our nuclear families, blah blah blah. And he's like, now, you know, we're during the time where, you know, technology has come out and we don't need each other as much as we did before, and so what happens is you just learn to be independent and you don't think you need people. And then when only time you do get in toxic relationships, usually it's because, or you let the toxic relationships stay on so long, it's because you need them, and that's the issue. It's like, you know, you're gonna stay in toxicity because you need them to help you pay you know, the mortgage and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, you know, I don't need nobody. That's the problem we're having, is because the women that y'all saw your grandma be, she needed her husband. There wasn't an and if about it. She needed him. And so now that we take that money aspect out, that we don't need each other as much, what happens is you have to actually get to know people and actually want to be around them, because you no longer are saying, I have to stay in this relationship. And if you are, it's because you're only staying for the money, or only staying there because you need a house, only staying there because this person provides a need for you that you can't provide for yourself, and you don't think you can find it anywhere else. And I think that it's really down to relationship structures and how people are finding partners. I think you got to really go to someone to talk it out, be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, people value different things, and this is my partner shot right there. My greatest asset, my greatest value to a person is not money. It's me.
Right.
It's me.
Right.
Because money is one dimensional. It can, sure, it's a defense. It can pay for this, it can pay for that. But it comes a time in life where your money ain't gonna mean jack shit. And you have to have something else. You have to have substance. You have to have when you are distraught, depressed because you lost a loved one. See, money is not the answer to everything. It's a defense. But at the end of the day, the woman that I end up with, she's gonna have to understand that, hey, I have something I'm more valuable than your little whatever 100 or 150 grand you make it a year. A life has to be more than money. My woman has to be valued more than money. At the end of the day, I don't care how much she makes. You know what I mean? She has to have some other value more than that money for me to be interested and stay interested. I'm just saying,
No, I agree. Yes. Well, I appreciate that. That's good information. Hopefully it's helpful for your viewers, and hopefully they saw that Miss Nebraska wasn't able to be here, but hopefully they saw that, we're being positive and
I like sharing. She's cool.
The lady is awesome too. Mm-hmm. So
I hope Miss Nebraska. I think she was on Twitch. And I saw her on audio. I saw it flow my thing. It said she was logged in under Twitch, and it was doing audio only. So hopefully next time she'll log into the actual StreamYard thing. And, I want to talk, this is a topic that, some people say, do men need to be needed? Do we need to be needed in a relationship now? Because everybody's so busy showing that I don't need you. I'm independent. I don't need you, baby. I don't need you.
I think men want to feel needed. Yes, I'll just be honest. If you want to start, I do think men need because men have been, traditionally shown that is what you want. You want your woman to need you, because if she has no need for you, she will leave you. And I think that dynamic needs to change to I want you here. And when we changed it to that, some men don't know what to do with that. They're like, I don't want to be wanted. I want to be needed. I've had someone actually get very upset with me because I said, I don't need you, but I want you here. They were very upset. They were very offended. And I was like, why are you offended? I said, because if I needed you.
Women lead with that a lot. Women lead that a lot. I was in a relationship. I don't need you. I got my own house. I got a job. I got my car. I don't need you. I mean, it's the way that some women come across. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need you. You can go over there and I don't care what you do. I'm like, really, baby? That's kind of harsh, ain't it? So now you think I'm begging behind you or something, sniffing up behind you? Okay, well, that ain't it. No, I ain't gonna see that. It evolves to that. Now I'm defensive, right. And I'm like, it's offended. I'm offended now because of how you're saying this to me. Like, nigga, I don't care if you die, live, go over here, whatever. I don't need you. But if you come over here, oh well. I mean, that's a nice, powerful stance to have, isn't it? You know what I mean? I don't need somebody. But my granddaddy said this to my mama. Everybody needs somebody. Now you can believe
that's the problem. We don't want that.
Point, I'm just saying, but at some point,
okay, let's clear that up. I want to clear it up before we go, because that's the issue. In everyday life, we need to have partnerships in unity, and that's why I say I believe in group mentality. I don't really like the society we live in is built on individualism. So we're built on individualism, and then the more women are turning to independence, that's where it tells us that we don't need anyone. And men will say it too. I don't need this. I don't need that. And it's like, I can do for myself. And when you're in a position where you say that all the time, it's not true. Everyone knows you can work better and more efficiently when there's more than one, just point blank. So if you're going to pretend that that's not true, it's idiotic. But it's also a mechanism for women to say, I don't need you, so that they don't feel used and they don't get abused. And that's basically what that's coming from. That's a place of hurt, and it shouldn't be used that way. You're right. But I definitely will say you shouldn't want to be needed more than you want to be wanted.
Be wanted. Exactly.
More
now,
than you want to be wanted.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay, because I know that I'm okay in our lives. We find partners. I know I'm going to bring something to our relationship that you don't have, and that's what probably drew you to me. So obviously you don't possess. I may possess. So it would be nice to have that. So that is nice to need. I may not be able to fix cars, but you can. That's nice. That's a nice need being met. But at the end of the day, if you hurt your hand, you can't do that anymore for me. I want you to still want me here more than you need me.
Right.
So I think that's where we need to be. I want you to want me more than you need me.
All right,
Absolutely.
That's our next topic. Coming back next Thursday, we're gonna have to start cutting on this. I want you to want me more than you need me.
Okay.
That's funny. Right, we gonna, try to get out of here. We've been on, but
yeah, thank you for having us. We appreciate
hopefully
it.
we'll get Lady E and Miss Nebraska back with us and talk to some. Yeah, but this is a nice wholesome show. We ain't gonna get too crunk in here. Even though this tonight is the most I've ever heard you talk on any show. You have talked tonight.
It is.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. No, it's good. You gotta talk more. I can't believe it. Listen to her go. All right. I got you. I know. I don't know. Push one of them buttons again. Get you fired up again.
I was a little hot.
Yeah, get you fired up again. But yeah. But no. But all right. But until next time. We'll be back in the saddle in about a week or so.
Okay.
All right. And